I always need to stretch before I do that. Okay. Stretchy! Let's go. Okay. Welcome everybody to the As a Producer series. So for this week, we have a request on how to speed up / slow down your tracks. Now we can do that with a finished product already. So if you already have the audio file that you want to use, just drag that into Soundtrap and then let me show you how to do it. Okay. So Cherries is already its own full production. So let's listen to it here. So if you want to be really specific with this, you make sure that you find the original tempo of your track and then you put that into Soundtrap at the bottom. Here you have tempo. Once you've done that, you can just change the tempo and it's going to be changed to whatever tempo you want it to be. Now, let me show you some tricks. So if you don't really care about what specific tempo, you just want it to go a little bit slower, then you can just hold Option and then you will see a small stretch icon show up. And then you can stretch it to be a little bit longer. If it's just a little bit longer, it's just a little bit slower. The longer you go, the slower it's going to get. But mind you, there will be a lot of artifacting and stuff like that due to the stretching. So that makes it sound a little bit like crunchy, a little bit weird. But there are some ways that we can kind of adjust and make sure that it doesn't sound too bad. So let's listen to it now. Still sounds pretty good. So what we can do here to make sure that it sounds a little bit better is if you add the clipper and a reverb. So the reason for this is to kind of smear the audio to a little bit of a more like pleasant sound for the human ear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to church and I'm going to pull the mix down and then I'm just going to listen to it to when I barely hear it. See, if I pause, you can actually hear the reverb coming through there. The track is pretty spacey already. It sounds okay. It doesn't really affect it too much. Now I can go into the clipper. Now the clipper you also want to be very, very light with. But the thing with the clipper is that it adds back a little bit of harmonic information. So what we can do with everything that's kind of like missing in that sense, we can pull back a little bit with the clipper. So let's listen to it with the clipper. And now without. So it's just giving a little bit of extra warmth and heat, which it kind of loses when you have those stretching errors or like those stretching sounds or artifacts is usually what I call them. Now that you have this done, you can export this track and you can use it in whatever you want. If it's your TikTok videos, Instagram Reels, whatever. But there's also an element of speeding it up, which is just doing the opposite. So you hold down Option and then you can pull it in, making it shorter. Now Soundtrap has stretched the audio to make sure that it's a little bit faster because I pulled it to even shorter. So listen to it now. And now it's going way, way, way faster. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful for you. These are a few tricks to make sure that your track sounds a little bit better once it comes out the other end after it's being stretched. Other things that you can do to make sure that all of this works out, you can reverberate it even more. I mean, most of you know the reverbed and slowed versions of different tracks. Now, with all of that said, I wanted to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave your questions or requests for other videos down below, and I will see you in the next one.